Hi everybody, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. This feels awkward, but I'm going to do it anyways because I think that the conversations are important. So thank you to everybody that commented on the last one that I did and remarked and watched the video. It's not an easy thing to do, I can tell you that. Anyways, the COVID-19 diagnosis was done initially and still on the basis of flu-like symptoms. And then the RT-PCR was being used, which doesn't actually test for COVID-19 virus. And what it does is it tests for a host RNA exosomes that are present in viruses, but also other things. And there's also an 80% false positive with this test. I could say a lot about it, but I don't want to use up video time doing that. I'm happy to share the resource with you or talk about it further. The other thing I just want to say is that in 2016, I did complete a certificate for immunology and vaccination for nurses. And at that time, there was a part written in one of the modules that spoke about WA legislating a no jab, no pay. And then when I moved back to WA and did my research on this immunization course, I found out that this no jab, no pay legislation went through. And what that meant for people that are listening that aren't from here, Australia, is that if children did not have their vaccinations, then the child tax credit was not given and the subsidy for daycares was not given. And so that really ruffled me in the sense that as a nurse, and I've got a lot of nurse friends out there, we all know that informed consent is informed consent. And this just stunk of coercion to me because you're putting people in a position financially and maybe doing something that they actually don't consent to. And I can say that from my time working on surgical units, I remember when we were obtaining informed consent for surgeries for people. And if I was getting that from somebody who hadn't had a conversation with their surgeon and really weren't quite sure, we didn't get them to sign that consent until we got the surgeon to come and have a conversation with that patient so that they knew everything about it, the risks and all. And this is not the case for vaccine administration. And in the little blurb that I was told to do when I give vaccines was not included in there that these actually weren't tested. It was never included that they never tested the flu vaccine on pregnant women, although they were telling pregnant women to do it. So none of that was part of the narrative we were meant to say. And so when I came to know that information, that was the end for me. I did not ever give another vaccination again, and I won't. And that's the background for it. So I do not consider myself anti-vax, so let me be very clear about that. That is about as ridiculous as to say that if I am against the mercury in the water for the fish, that therefore I'm anti-fish. It's ridiculous. I am simply pro-choice, pro-information, pro-transparency, and that's where I sit with it. Not anti-anything. So that division of people is not necessary. I don't care if you want to vaccinate yourself or your children. That's your choice. And I expect that I would have the same choice as well. And I can see myself getting revved up about it because I really feel as strong about that nobody should be telling us what we should be doing with our own bodies and the bodies of our kids. And I'll add this, that as a registered nurse here, if I am seen to be debunking vaccinations, I can be reported to my registrating body and lose my license to practice as a nurse. Imagine that. And all I want is to do no harm to people and to make sure that they have informed consent before they endeavor in a procedure. Okay, this is too long and I'm going to stop it here, and I will be doing another video. So please think about that for just a little bit, and by all means comment, regardless of what you think of what I've said. I'm open to it. Thank you. Bye.